Hello, guys, it's Johnny time, and welcome to another special Web3 security interview. Today, we have a super special guest that everyone here probably knows. He's the most booked smart contract auditor, and this is Pashov, guys. I know that a lot of you wanted me to interview him again since the last interview we had last October 2022, and it was a huge pleasure interviewing him in the beginning of his journey when he was just started. And today we have the version 2.0 interview to catch up, to see how he progressed and witness his incredible journey since the previous interview. So it's going to be super interesting. We're going to share awesome tips about Web3 security, smart contract auditing, and hacking. I'm super excited. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello, Pashov. How are you? Welcome again to the channel.
Hello, Johnny. Nice to see you again. I'm very happy to be back here. It's like maybe 8 or 9 months since we did that initial interview. So many things have changed. We have a lot to talk about today. It will be fun.
Definitely. We have a lot of questions that we prepare to ask you. Some of them are also actually from the audience. You made a tweet and a lot of people commented on this tweet and asked their questions. So we added them to the interview. So if you're one of the guys that ask the questions, be sure to watch it because we're going to answer them today. And before we start asking questions, we want to revisit the previous interview that was 6 months ago. If you didn't watch it, the link will be in the comments in the description below, so make sure to watch it. And in the previous interview, when you just got started, we talked about your future goals and how do you look at your future. So now we want to revisit some of these goals and see if you were able to achieve them after 6 months. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds great. Let's do it.
So the first one is taking care of your family in general and financially.
Yeah, so just for some background, every year I write down some goals for myself, like financial goals, lifestyle goals, friendship goals, anything that I want to improve in my life. And yeah, last year I had a lot of goals. This year I have new ones. But yeah, one of them was this one that I wanted to be helping out my family. And yeah, this is pretty much done. But I can tell you that this has been done even maybe 1 or 2 years ago because I helped my mother and my sister. They live a great life now in my hometown where I was living for like 20 years before I came to Sofia, which is the country capital here in Bulgaria. But yeah, they live in a nice apartment. They are well off financially. They all go out occasionally whenever they want. So this is a great thing. This was my initial motivation to even start becoming good with money, with business, even becoming a software engineer. I wanted financial stability for me and my family. So yeah, it worked out. But yeah, they're pretty. They're not people that want to be rich or want to flex with watches or cars or whatever. So yeah, they're very well off even without much money, but they have more than enough. So I'm very happy with this goal.
Definitely, this is an awesome goal, and I can relate a lot because this is also my goal, and I'm glad that you were able to achieve that goal. You had another interesting goal, which is public speaking and content creation.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
how is that going?
Yeah, this is going pretty well. In terms of content creation, I can tell you that I still haven't missed a single day of tweeting. Still, since our last interview, it has been, I think, maybe close, very close. It's very close to a year now that I haven't missed a single day. I'm tweeting every day. Some days I'm tweeting twice or 3 times or more, and I'm trying to provide value. People like it, so that's why they follow me. They like my tweets and everything. I also run my own Discord community, like that I have been mentioning, with Bulgarian IT people. A lot of it has become Web3 security stuff nowadays because that's what I do 24/7. So there I'm creating content as well, helping out people. And in terms of public speaking, it's okayish. I mean, I for the third consecutive year, I did a public speaking, like an online webinar for the local community here in Bulgaria. So I did like this webinar where It was Web3 security related. I spoke about the different phases of product, the development and the deployment lifecycle, and how to secure each one of them. So it was a great talk. It was like 100 people showed up. It was very nice. But I really wanted to do a live speaking. I really want to do this year, and I still haven't done it. Actually, I should have applied for a speaker to be a speaker at the DeFi Security Summit, which is in like 3 days from now. I really should have applied, but I didn't. Which I know I should have, but I can give some feedback to the event organizers. Usually, the process for application are not good. I mean, sometimes you even have to submit your CV, which is pretty stupid. I don't have a CV. Like I'm an independent security researcher. Why would you want me to submit a CV? So yeah, it's just a bad process. Otherwise, I would have applied probably. And there is still time. I mean, we're at the middle of the year, so I might be applying for public speaking at such conferences. But yeah, I have done one so far, this webinar that I told you, which is still good, and we're moving forward with this.
Another goal.
Oops.
Another goal that was achieved. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you also had some goals regarding networking and meeting more people in the Web3 space, Web3 security space. So were you able to meet new people?
Yeah, this is happening. So pretty much I'm meeting a lot of people in online. I mean, on Twitter, on Discord, on Telegram. I have joined so many communities. Some people have invited me to some private communities where there are just a small group of people, like 10 or 15 researchers, which are one of the best in the space, and we discuss some things privately. So I'm part of such communities, and I have built friendships, relationships with people, which is great. I also visited EdCon in Montenegro like 2 months ago, and it was also great. I met some people, but I can tell you that it wasn't a great event. Not many people showed up. The infrastructure to come to Montenegro is not very good, so not many people showed up, and it wasn't the best conference. But I still met people. Some people told me, "Oh, I'm following you on Twitter. I didn't know that was you." So it was a great thing. And yeah, exactly. This week, at the end of this week, I'm going to Paris for the DeFi Security Summit. After that, I will be there for like 5 more days for the ECC conference, and I will probably be meeting more people than I have met in the last 2 years. Probably I will be meeting so many people. I have arrangements with a lot of guys. I already got tickets for some nice parties, for some nice dinners as well, some invites. So it will be a great time, and we will be meeting a lot of people there. Yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah, this event, DeFi Security Summit and ECC are gonna be awesome. I heard a lot of good things. Unfortunately, I cannot attend this time, but for sure, I'm excited for you, and you're gonna like meet a lot of people and have a lot of fun parties and stuff, and probably also very interesting talks. So, and maybe next time you can go and give a talk, public speaking, and like something valuable to the community in those events.
Yeah.
Another goal for you for the future was like visiting new places like USA, Miami, Spain. Were you able to visit those places?
Yeah, so I have been doing really well with this goal. So every month for the past like 2 years, I have been traveling at least once, visiting some country. So since the last time we spoke, I have visited a lot of places. Like I don't know which ones were the best. I went to Barcelona. I went to Nice. I mean, in Paris. So
France, yeah, Nice.
yeah, in France, I mean, and which is close to Monaco. I went to Monaco as well. I went to Greece a few times in some great islands. There were other countries as well. I can't remember now, but I had some great trips. Had a lot of fun. I was working while I was in most of those places. I was with my laptop every time, and I even worked from the beach and whatnot. So I'm doing great with this goal. I'm traveling a lot. I'm having fun with friends, discovering new cultures. It's a great thing. I can recommend traveling to anybody. I mean,
That's
That's one
awesome.
of the
We'll
big
have a section in the interview where we talk about auditing and lifestyles, where you can give a lot of information to people about it. And I'm glad you are achieving your goals in terms of visiting new places, meanwhile working on your projects, which is amazing. I'm doing the exact same thing. I was doing the exact same thing in the last 1.5 year. Now I'm more settled, but yeah, I know it's very fun and you feel the freedom. You're just going for a vacation, and then okay, you want to go to your hotel room and open your laptop and do some task, or even in the beach. It's like, it's cool.
yeah.
So I feel
It,
you.
yeah, it's really the proper lifestyle. It's how life should be lived, I guess. I mean, it's the perfect balance. So when you want to work, you work hard. When you want to rest, you rest hard. Or even when you are resting, if you want to bring your laptop because you are bored at some time during the holiday, you can open it and you can work a little bit. It's a great balance. It's how it should be.
This is one of the advantages of being entrepreneurial or like a freelancer, which you are not tied to a 9 to 5 job. And this is something that is available in Web3 in general, especially in Web3 security, where you have all the opportunities of like auditing contests, private auditing, bug bounties. You can literally work whenever you want, but you need like self-awareness and like, I don't know, like good schedule, not to be too lazy and like be dragged to vacations and stuff, but you need to actually get work done.
Yeah. Yeah, you still need discipline, but it's a
Discipline,
great
yeah, this is the
opportunity.
word that I was searching for.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity. It's great. My life has changed tremendously since I'm not working a 9 to 5 job anymore. I'm actually making more money, living a better life, probably providing more value to more people. So I don't know. I don't see bad thing in this. It's great, and almost everybody that is watching, that will be watching this video and this interview and the previous ones, have this same opportunity and probably is already in the Web3 security space, so they can do the same thing for themselves, and it will be great for everybody. It will be a win-win situation. No one will be losing from this.
This is very motivating for sure. And you had also some financial goals and like, auditing goals. First of all, you wanted to bypass the plateau that you reached. You said that you reached some kind of plateau and you wanted to win a 5-digit reward. Either if it's like, it doesn't matter if it's a contest, bug bounty, or a private audit. So we want to revisit those goals and see if you were able to achieve them.
Yeah, so when we did our last interview, it was exactly the time before I started doing these audits that I started doing and I have been doing for the past 7 or 8 months. And then I was doing Code Arena and Sherlock contests, and I was making some good money here and there. But yeah, as you said, I was hitting a plateau. I mean, I wasn't progressing that much in terms of money, in terms of my financial goals. But yeah, after our interview, exactly around this time, I got the first SO audit, and then I started doing almost only SO audits, where like 2 or 3 months into doing SO audits, maybe 2 months into doing it, I got my first like 10K payout for a SO audit, which basically achieved my goal, and it was great. I mean, the client was very happy. I made good money. I did nice work, and it was a great achievement. I shared my rewards with friends. I mean, I took my friends to dinner to celebrate. It was a great time, and yeah, I'm doing pretty well with it. But nowadays I'm not doing Code Arena or Sherlock, even though I miss those contests a lot, and I think they are great places to build your skill. They're very competitive. But nowadays, just because it's a better business decision, I'm doing SO audits only.
Yeah, definitely. You had some great achievements since then, and you became the most booked private auditor. I actually discussed about it with Trust before. I asked him, like, he also started doing like private audits under his own brand, and asked him, "Do you miss like auditing contests? Why don't you participate? You used to be the best one." And he's like, "Yeah, I actually miss it. So once in a while, and I go back just because of the adrenaline and the competition. It's like there is something different between like." It's a bit different, like doing private audits and participate in auditing contents. With that said, it seems like you spend your time, you give more value in your time in private audits and solo audits, and also you're able to monetize it better. So I would probably do the same. It's the same reason that I don't participate in many auditing contests, because I can provide more value with my time with private audits for ginger security or building an course and educational content. So I choose, but I do enjoy auditing content sometimes, and I will try to make some time for it in my calendar to participate at least in some contest, more for the purpose of the fun of it and for sharing insights with the community, like I did with the previous USSD contest with Sherlock. I don't know if you followed.
Yeah, I think there was something like this. But yeah, as you said, it would be more for fun. And also a great thing when it comes to contests is the community part of it. Because other people, other friends of yours will be doing the contest as well. And after the contest, you can be discussing key findings, to be like competing with each other to see who is doing better on the leaderboard and everything. It has the gamification factor built into it. It's very fun. But yeah, if you want to build a business, if you want to be making actually uh, great money, to be building
Sustainable.
a business, a sustainable business, yes, you cannot just be having fun. You have to be building the business. And when you do a solo audit or an audit of itself, you actually build a connection and a better relationship with the client itself, which is again better in terms of business. And with Code Arena, you're having fun, you're building a great network, but with other researchers, which can still give you more business in the future, but indirectly. When it comes to audits, you just get a great client, and then you can retain that client. You can do subsequent audits with them. I have clients that I have done like 4 or 5 audits with them, and they have been referring me to other clients, which I have done like 2 audits with them. So this is how business grows in this space. But
So
yeah,
it's like a snowball effect. Like the more value you give, you get more client, you get more jobs, more assignments.
exactly. Nowadays, especially with Twitter, with social media, when you're a scammer, when you're doing a bad thing, everybody can realize it really quickly because there is the communication and network effect. Everybody will know it. But
And
it's
call
the
you
same
out.
thing. Yes, they will call you out, but it's the same thing in the opposite side. If you're doing a great thing, everybody will see it, everybody will be talking about it. And I have had so many times like people reaching out saying this other founder referred you, or this other founder gave me your Telegram or whatever. Even this morning when I just woke up, one of the guys that I did an audit with them, they were just like, are you fine with me giving your contact to another founder? And they have
Of
already
course.
done this once. Yeah, and they did it second time today. I said, yeah, no problem, sure. Why would they say no? But yeah, when you're, I think this is one of my best things, my biggest strengths in my solo auditing business. And what can I say? It really depends on your personality, because I have this as a strength of my personality that I can speak to people, I can make friends, I can be nice. I know how to service. I know how to do a service-based business. I know how to service clients, how to treat them. For example, one thing that I say to my clients is, "I'm at your service." Like, imagine being a client and hearing this. This sounds great. Everybody wants, when you pay good money, like a 5-digit figure in dollars, in US dollars. This is crazy money. And when you pay this, you expect great customer experience, and this matters. I mean, this is security, which is highly technical, very low level stuff in the close to the computer language and whatever compilers, whatever. But you still need that people communication thing, that customer relationship. So I can do this very well. And for example, in Code Arena and Sherlock, I cannot use this strength of mine, which is just a value lost. So yeah, I'm
That's very
really doubling
interesting.
down.
That's very.
Yeah,
You're basically saying that in order to be a successful private solo editor, there is another skill that is required. Not only your technical skills, but also knowing how to communicate effectively with clients, how to give the best of you to them, and make them feel like they get the best service ever. It's a lot of
exactly.
human communication and business development.
Yes, 100%. And when it comes to security, because you have to have this a little bit negative mind to be a great security researcher. You have to be a little bit paranoid, and you have to view everything from its worst side. This is how you are a
Exactly.
great security researcher. Yeah, but if you have this personality trait and you actually bring it when you're communicating with people, it will be a bad thing. And there are certainly some great researchers that are not that good with people, that might come off as more negative sometimes, which I mean, I don't have anything against them, but it's not serving them. them. I mean, it's not in their best interest. Here we have a great community. Everybody is friendly. Everybody is doing well. Everybody is making money as well. So we can be helping each other. Of course, scammers should not be treated well. This is not good. But yeah, there is no need for negativity, and it's usually not serving you well. But of course, you have to have your own character. You have to express yourself. This is important. I'm not saying this. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So since the previous interview, you and your business grew significantly. Can you share with us some awesome milestones that you achieved, some notable projects you worked on, anything exciting that you built since our previous conversation?
Yeah. Okay, it's flex time. It's flex time.
Flexing time, yeah.
Yeah, flexing time. So yeah, yeah, things have been going really well. I'm very happy with my achievements. I have been sharing almost everything on Twitter. I have been sharing milestones, the money I have been making, how many audits I have done, and everything. So the most interesting things were that one of my previous goals, actually, I don't know if I even mentioned it in the last video, in the last interview, but I had this goal of making 50,000 US dollars in a single month doing so audits or whatever security related business. And this seemed so crazy to me back then. Like I was making maybe uh, I wasn't even making 10K a month. I think I was making like close to 10K, and 50K sounded so crazy. It was like impossible. How am I even going to make this? I was trying to think how much I have to make each week or each day or whatever. The math didn't check out. Like no way. And yeah, like 6 or 7 months later, I achieved this goal. I made in 1 month I made 60,000 US dollars, which was a great milestone. I worked
Wow.
very hard during
This
this
was
month.
last month, right? June.
Yes, this was last month. I made like 6 audits. Then I did 6 audits. It was a very busy month. I worked a lot of hours. I worked very hard, and all of my clients were very happy. It turned out that I found a lot of critical severity issues, a lot of high severity issues, and it was a great value exchange for each party. I learned so much in this month. It was a great month in terms of business, and yeah, I have been doing audits every month, a lot of audits. I have now done over 30 solo smart contract security audits, which is a crazy figure. I don't know anybody else that has done so many private audits, so many solo audits. A lot of people have been doing a lot of audits, but in terms of solo audits, probably I'm the guy who has done the most so far. And yeah, I don't know if this metric is the most important one, but yeah, uh, there's one more factor into it, because it matters if you do like this crazy uh, big code bases, which are like 4,000 lines of code. If you do such an audit, it will probably take you a month or even more, and you won't have a big number of audits done. But yeah, I have been working mostly with clients that have smaller code bases, because this is the best thing. They fit so audits very well. And yeah, biggest achievements have been over 30 solo smart contract security audits. I have had a month that was more than 50K made just from this business.
More than
And
60K. Don't
yeah,
be, yeah.
okay. Yeah, it was more than 60K,
Humble.
like yes, 62K to be exact. It was a great month. And so many other things. I have been helping so many other people in this space. They have been making crazy good money. Some of them have been doing like 30K or 40K months or even more. So it's a great thing. Everybody is having a good time, and clients are very happy. Clients are coming back. They're very happy with the service. Sometimes even if you find one critical severity issue, it can save them so much more money than what they're paying you anyway. If they pay you 10K, and if you find one or two critical severity issues, it's certainly worth it so much. So yeah.
Of course. This is why they're willing to pay so much money, those blockchain companies, because they know that in case there is someone else, bad actor, who finds this vulnerability, they are done. They might be done, because a lot of money will be lost for the protocol, for users. It's horrible. And obviously, that's why the industry is so rewarding, because once there is attack, that's it. The money is gone. It's not like a bank database where you can revert it, or like I don't know, a ransomware where you can try and negotiate with the attacker, or maybe find the key somehow to decrypt the data. No, it's gone. The blockchain is moving on. You cannot revert the states. It's not going to happen like the DAO, like the fork with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. We are not there anymore. So once attack happens, we have this freezing capabilities of like USDT and USDC, but it's still not enough. We can see it from the recent Phantom multi-chain hack, like how bad it is. If you now go to Phantom, to 1inch, and try to swap your USDC on Phantom with Phantom coin, you will get 50% for one USDC.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you know, but
yeah. This is so bad.
This is really bad. And I had some funds in Phantom. I urged everyone in Twitter, go swap out all your stablecoins, all your ETH. If you hold ETH, any token you hold on Phantom, just swap it to Phantom and liquidate it in a centralized exchange, because the value gonna go down. It doesn't matter that the chain is secure or the DEX is secure. Once the bridge got hacked and all the money that was deposited to the blockchain is stolen, there is no backup for the TVL. That's it. Your money worth nothing, right? And this is like, just you can see how one hack or one private key compromise can just lead to such a disaster, like a collapse of an entire blockchain.
It's just so bad. I don't know. Maybe it's a design problem of blockchains. The thing that we're having those security issues, it's so bad. I mean, it's so bad that just overnight people can steal hundreds of millions of dollars, and it has happened now multiple times. And it's so bad because so many people are losing so much money. But I guess this is the price that we have to pay to go closer to this utopia where we're using almost only blockchains and the decentralized concept of money and everything. So yeah, it's an unsolvable problem right now. Everybody's trying to solve it, but it still hasn't been solved. And yeah, I'm one of the guys in this space who is just trying to help and to improve the space as much as it can. But yeah, we still don't have a solution for this, and probably hacks will continue and become even worse in the upcoming years. We don't have anything that can tell us otherwise right now.
Definitely, for sure. We are the good guys, the white warriors, trying to help as much in the space. You are helping a lot in smart contract audits, and we both help in education, if it's like through Twitter, through the core, through YouTube. I do think, let me know what you think about it, but that smart contract auditing is like, it's the beginning, but like traditional cybersecurity, there are going to be more professions and more professionalities in Web3 security. For example, once such hack happens, I had a pleasure to talk with Peter. I don't know if you know Peter. He's the founder of Block Threat, of the newsletter, and he's also team lead in Coinbase in security. He builds security teams in Coinbase. A very smart and nice guy. And we talked about like another profession that will emerge that he and his team is now searching for. People that will do incident response and forensics. Like in traditional cybersecurity, their hack is happening in a network. A team come of 3 people with laptops to collect evidence and try to find the attacker to remediate the network. And same things need to happen now in Web3 security. For example, okay, how do we freeze the funds? How do we block? How do we track the attacker? Maybe decompile his attacker contract, the bytecode, try to understand his technique. Maybe get from the RPC provider his IP address. Everything, every evidence that will lead to catch the attacker and eventually basically force him to bring back the money, like happened with the Euler finance hack, the $200 million. And it's super fascinating talk. And I think the more time passes, there will be more professions and more specialities in the space that will help secure the space even more, apart from smart contract auditing. Let me know what you think about it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I have been following the Block Thread newsletter, and Peter, I have watched some of his interviews. He seems really smart and really like what he is doing. I think there is there is certainly a great need for people that do on-chain tracking, on-chain monitoring, as you said, incident response. This is something that I actually spoke about in this webinar that I did related to Web3 security here in Bulgaria. I actually spoke a little bit about incident response and how it should be a part of the security pipeline of a DeFi protocol. I know why Earn have this incident response template where they have just a template of how to do it, a blueprint of how to do incident response properly. And certainly there is a great need for this. And there is a need for other roles that I cannot think right now of them. But yeah, uh, DeFi protocols need security audits. They need deployment script security audits. They need upgrade security audits when they do code upgrades. They need a lot of things around this, so they do things securely and properly. So yeah, this sector, this business of security people in Web3 will grow a lot. Certainly,
It
there
will
is a
evolve a
great
lot for sure. Yeah, yeah. In the whole life cycle of a project, and the money stake is more than traditional cybersecurity. So I'm sure that these professions will evolve, and the space will evolve more.
100%.
Now we have a question from the audience, from KP on Twitter. What is the most interesting findings since the last interview? So if you can like describe a particular interesting finding that you found, simplify it, because we don't have like code snippets right now
Yeah.
or diagrams, but just, yeah.
Sure, sure. Yeah, actually, I haven't thought about this, but now I can think of two vulnerabilities that I have found that are both critical vulnerabilities and have been very nice. And I have been very proud with finding them. You can check my reports on GitHub, by the way, on github.com/Pashov. You can
We
find
will put a
slash
link in the
audit.
description.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, for the audit
yeah.
reports by Pashov.
Exactly. Almost all of my audit reports are already published, so you can find a lot of good learning materials there. But I can tell you about two vulnerabilities. One of them was with I was reviewing this smart contract wallet um, code base, and you had to do, like, you had this option where you sign transactions off chain, and a relayer will actually execute those transactions for you. But there was a critical vulnerability where one of the data that was used in the execute method body was one of the values was given as a function argument. It was not part of the signature. So the relayer or whoever had the signature could have changed this value and could have made some transaction revert, or just execute some griefing attack on the actual person who owns the wallet. So it was a very nice finding. Basically, when it comes to signatures and signing data off chain, you should always check that all pieces of data that should be signed are signed. And this was not the case in this place. And it was a great critical severity vulnerability. I even got a bonus payout of $1,000 from the client, which was a great thing. And one other finding that I have just published like 1 week ago was it was like this raffle game on Polygon, which were using Chainlink's VRF for verifiable randomness, but they didn't configure it properly because the VRF version 2 has this property of request confirmations, which is basically how many blocks should the VRF service wait until they provide you randomness or something like this. And it was important, and they added this property in the version 2. It was non-existent in version 1, because they were supporting different chains now, not only Ethereum. And on other chains, for example in Polygon, sometimes you had a lot of chain reorgs, and you have different organizations and ordering of transactions. Some transactions can go in different blocks and whatever. And when it comes to VRF, if your request for randomness goes into another block, if the chain reorgs, your randomness will be different. So this is why it's very important to configure this property
In Polygon in
correctly.
particular.
Yes, in Polygon in particular, because in my report I linked the a page where it goes to the Polygon reorgs, which happen every day, and you can see, especially when I was doing the audit, in the last 24 hours there were like 25 reorgs, and some of them had a depth of more than 5 blocks. And those guys who built this project set this property to only 3 blocks, confirmations, which was a very very bad thing, because what could have happened is someone winning a raffle, and then when a block reorg happens, the blockchain will just tell them, oh no, you're not a winner anymore, like you don't have a reward. So yeah, and it was a very bad thing, I think, for the protocol. I mean, imagine being a player, winning a raffle, and then the application saying, no, you didn't win anything. So it
Not
was a
only that,
critical.
then another player might win suddenly and like,
Yes, exactly. Someone the application tells him, you just lost, sorry, you lost your money, and then
it's
he
it's
wins.
just a bad raffle, it's just a raffle that like you win and you can lose
Exactly.
your prize after.
Exactly. You have to do one thing correctly and you don't do it correctly. So yeah, it was a critical severity vulnerability. But yeah, basically probably the developer haven't been reading the Chainlink VRF documentation, and I have been reading it much in depth, and I have been reviewing like maybe 5 or 6 code bases using Chainlink's VRF, and almost on each single one of them I have found either a high or a critical severity vulnerability, just because they are not following the security considerations written in Chainlink docs, which means, again, developers are not reading documentation in depth, and it's not a big documentation. Like, it takes probably 15 minutes or even 10 minutes to read it and to check your code against it, to check if you are following the security considerations. But developers don't do it, which is a bad thing. But this is why I have a job, I guess. So yeah.
Exactly. So these are some very interesting findings, and there are so many mistakes that devs can do. But yeah, that's why we are here, to find those. And to find those mistakes, and the more audits, private audits that you are doing, as you said, you had experience with 4 repositories with VRF Chainlink. So you already like, okay, you see a contract that is using VRF by Chainlink. You already automatically you have the experience, you have the skill to notice those mistakes and highlight them in your report, which is a valuable, very valuable skills, because the consequences are tragic, right? A raffle which doesn't work as expected, a relayer that can basically change transaction that he doesn't own, like these kind of like crazy things that eventually you see millions of dollars are lost. So
Yeah.
that's the ecosystem we're in.
Exactly. And yeah, experience really matters when it comes to a security researcher. And with experience, you can actually be making more money and asking for more money, because when you have experience with over 5 code bases using Chainlink VRF, it is highly probable that you'll be finding most of the issues related to it. And also, since you have been reviewing so many code bases using this technology, you have probably gone really deep into their documentation. Also, you have been reading other reports, and also we can mention here this tool which is called Audit. I think
Solid it, yeah.
Audit, yes. And you can find a lot of issues there. I use it myself personally. I think almost everybody is using it. It's a great tool where you can just search for a specific keyword like VRF or Chainlink, and you can find all reported issues on Coderina, on Sherlock, and on other reports that have been built into the system, integrated. And
It's one
yeah,
of the best tools, in my opinion, in Web3 security. And I've made a video tutorial about it. So you can just search on YouTube, Johnny Times Solid, and you will find all the tutorial of how to utilize this tool the best way you can.
yeah, it's great thing that you did a tutorial, because a lot of people have been using it almost every day. I think even their service is sometimes slow because there are so many requests on a daily basis. But yeah, when you have been having experience with a certain type of technology like Chainlink VRF, you have probably been reading all the reported issues on Audit. You have been reading the documentation. You have been reading code that integrates with it. So you're more experienced. You probably find more issues than just a junior guy. So this is another point that I have now in myself, which is building my business even better.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Since our last conversation, apart from using Solidity, did you adopt new tools, new techniques, new methodologies that you are now applying when you work with clients in smart contract audits?
Yeah, what can I say? Probably I have been adopting some a little bit. In terms of tools, I have been using almost nothing. I'm using the usual ones that I have been using even back then, which are VS Code extensions. Like I'm using Solidity metrics to scope my work, to see the size of my work. I'm also using the Solidity Visual Developer VS Code plugin extension, which is very good. I mean, it it has a great name like visual developer, because just with your vision, just by seeing which way a variable is aligned, or it's like in both or whatever, you can know if this variable is a storage variable or a function parameter or whatever. So it really helps being very efficient with your time. I use this a lot. And apart from this, I'm using Foundry, of course, sometimes when I'm writing proof of concepts, which happens very, very rarely, but I sometimes use it. I use it to run the code coverage report, gas report sometimes. But yeah, apart from this, I'm not using any tools. And yeah, the Audit tool is great. It's like this online service, which is great. I'm using it. But yeah, probably no other tools that I'm using. I have been doing some stuff in my reports, some methodologies that I have included in my way of auditing. There was this time where I did like a threat model, which now lately I haven't been doing that much of it, because at some point I figured out that in some protocols you cannot do a great threat model. You can do something very small, and I still write some of this in my reports. You can see this, but yeah. If you open my reports, you can see that I'm writing a lot more technical documentation now. And one thing that I have shared even in a tweet is it's a great thing to write down yourself personally uh, a happy case, use case, uh, user flow of using the application. It's very useful to you to see. Let's say Alice deposits 10 ETH, like Bob deposits 15 ETH. They both like get those funds into a vault. This vault sends the money to a strategy. The strategy brings a yield. Then users can claim in whatever point of time. So this is very good to have this written down, and you can see some attack vectors from just writing it down. So this is what I have started doing. But mostly, in that case, I can say that this is great for almost anything you do. It's always great to stick to the basics, and you just have to be reading a lot of reports. You just have to be reading the code line by line, character by character, and this is what works best. This is how you find the most issues. So yeah, you cannot rely too much on tools.
These are some great tips. Yeah, I highly agree with you. Also, about the happy user scenario, because before you start thinking of how to break the system, try to understand, okay, how the system is supposed to work. What did the developer think when they designed the system? How users should come and approach the system. And sometimes you also find bugs in the happy scenario that users cannot do some things. So this is one bonus that you get of this approach. And another approach is that you can also avoid false positives. Sometimes you think that you found a finding that is like critical or high, and you're like, oh my God, this is an awesome finding. But then you don't really understand how the protocol is supposed to work, and it comes out to be a false positive. So it also can help reduce those false positives in my experience. So both like finding new problems and also reduce false positives.
Yeah, and one of the best things when you do this happy case or whatever is that a lot of questions will pop up, and they will be great questions. You start asking the client questions, which will show you are engaged, and you actually get a lot of information from the developers, which you cannot get in any other way. You cannot get it from just reading the code or reading the documentation. They will share a lot of decisions that they have been making, a lot of pain points, and sometimes they will share attack vectors themselves, which they are worried about, which is very important. And this is like part of threat modeling. You have to identify threats. This is very important. You have to be asking a lot of questions to your clients, and this is how you get to it, by trying to understand the application.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing those amazing tips. So actually in the previous conversation, I don't know if you remember, but I just started working on a smart contract hacking course. It was like in the planning and preparing mode. And now it's out, obviously, since March 2023. And you are also a guest lecturer in the course. And I just wanted to ask you, what is your experience with the course? What do you feel like from the community? How was it for you to participate as a guest lecturer? And anything that you want to share with us?
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting how you build this product. Like back then, it was like we were just speaking about it, and now it's live. People are using it, and they're very happy with it. I can tell you that I have been receiving only good feedback about it. I don't think many people have been asking for refunds. Of course, every product has this, but probably more than not more than 1 or 2% of people. I don't know what the statistics are, but so many people have been very happy with the course, and a lot of my even personal friends in real life who I have gotten into smart contract security have bought the course and have watched it and rewatched it, and they said they have gotten so much value from it because it has a lot of practical sides of it. It has a lot of attack vectors shared, so people are really learning a lot, and they're actually getting more value than what they're paying for. I think this is how you build a great product. And yeah, my I have added two guest lectures, which people have been finding valuable. They have been DMing me on Twitter about the lectures. They're very happy with it. I have actually um, I have referred some people to Spearbit, to All Security, and yeah, people are very happy with all of the lectures. I haven't heard a single bad word from anybody who has bought the course. Almost everybody is saying this is one of the best things, one of the best investments right now. And you can see that most of the people who are doing Web3 security now have been making pretty good money. A lot of people have been making at least $1,000 a month when they are putting in, let's say, 30 or 40 hours a month into learning and practicing. So as you see, it's a great deal, and yeah, that's why I have still been promoting it. I am still sharing it with people. I'm always saying, if you want a free course, you can go to Securim Bootcamp. If you want a paid one, which goes more in depth into attacks, it has practical examples and everything, you can go for the smart contracts hacking course. You even have a $50 discount if you go through my referral link, which is in my pinned tweet. And yeah, people have been using it. It has been doing very well. So it's a great experience.
Thanks a lot for sharing your experience and for your contribution also to the course. I think people really love your guest lectures and to learn from you. And that was the idea, to bring only the best. You trust Owen, and maybe we'll bring even more people in the future to give some to add some more value to the course. And yeah, definitely we get only awesome feedback. It's like very practical. You talked about the lectures, but also there are so many exercises that they are actually doing labs, and you know, it's more like in CDFs, they are like, they can be stuck and like they don't have the fundamentals. But the cool thing about the course is that they learn the fundamentals, they practice, they have an exercise, they learn another subject, they do exercise. So it builds like a very strong foundation. And I'm really happy with the students. As you said, some of them already paid back the money that they invested for the course and made even more money. One good example is Chris. You probably watched the interview,
Yep.
because he's from your community. He's like amazing, 16 years old, young guy that probably you and I both super proud of him. He's like killing it in auditing contest. He was intern in some of my audits. I heard now that he's also working with Owen on some audits. So it's like
Oh wow.
insane. And it started like, I
So
don't know, like four months ago, Web3 security,
yeah,
16 years
it,
old.
it's so good, and I can tell you this is probably the number one thing that I love about this whole space and this whole technology. And I think probably this was the vision of, I don't know if this was the vision of Satoshi. I don't know, but I love this thing about this space, and it is that it's really permissionless, and it removes a lot of biases because people are biased. We have a lot of biases. We are biased towards people that are like us. We do not like people that are different. Maybe that it's just ingrained into our brains to not like people that speak different in a different way than us, different language, different skin color, different age, different gender. Just most people's brains it works like this. Even if you are very intelligent, you try to suppress it, and we try to be the best people, and the people who can have as less biases as possible. They do really well in life, in business, in everything, and I try this myself personally. But what can I say? When it comes to security, if you see a 16-year-old guy, you probably would never work with him. You say this is not serious. He cannot bring any value. But this is why Code Arena is great. This is why Sherlock is great. They're permissionless platforms, Immunify as well. We're just going, and all that matters is the value you bring. So I love this so much. And even with myself personally, I still consider myself a young guy. I'm now 26 years old, but it's still I don't have that much experience. I'm not like a guy who has 20 years of experience, but very big companies with very big budgets. Some protocols that I have been reviewing have over 20 million dollars of total value locked, and others have other millions. I mean, a lot of money are at stake in the contracts that I have been reviewing, that people have been trusting me with, and this probably would have never happened in the Web 2 space, where it's all biased and people are just not thinking in the best way possible. So this is what I love. The permissionless culture of this removes age bias, rage bias, race bias. I mean, um, all other biases. I mean, I like it. It brings people together, which is great.
Doesn't matter where you are coming from, what's your race, what's your religion, how old you are. You bring value, you get value. That's the beautiful thing about Web3.
Yes, I love it. It's like total meritocracy. It's great. I love it. I really love it. This is why I'm here.
Exactly. Now, talking about the course, so you're also promoting the course, and you mentioned publicly that all the revenue that you're going to make from the course, you're going to donate it to the Web3 security space and also to other people who need it. And I know that you have donated some money to Y Academy and Securium, and you're also planning to create a computer room in your own high school, which is like, I guess it's like very satisfying to be able to provide this kind of upgrade to your own high school. It's awesome. So you can share a bit about your contribution to the community in terms of like donating money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So as I said in my tweet when I announced that I will be an affiliate in your course, my sole auditing business is doing pretty well. It's not that I don't want to make more money and build my business, but it was just that I saw this as a public good in from my own point of view, and I wanted to donate all of the money that I have been winning. I haven't donated all of them yet, but it's like a process. It's in progress. So basically, yeah, I have made a small donation to Y Academy, like $1,000. Now I just did a Securium raise. I designed it myself. And I prepared around $2,000 of rewards to participants who placed very well on the leaderboard there on the Securium race, which is a good thing. I wanted also to donate to I won't. Let's not name the name, but one platform in our space which just didn't want to accept this donation. Maybe they thought will seem bad, or I think they mostly told me that they just don't know how to allocate it because they have their own funds, and what would they do with $1,000 or $2,000? They just don't know what to do with it, so they like declined the donation. I'm fine with it. I'm good friends with them anyway. And yeah, one big thing that I plan to do is in my hometown, in the high school that I was studying in, where I graduated and where I actually had computer classes myself, to build a new computer room just um, to build a new room with new computers, new desks, new everything. So I will be one of the guys who will be donating a big sum of money, maybe around $10,000 or whatever, which will be which will be very nice. It should be like half of the money to build the room itself, and we'll find more people to build it, and it will be a great thing. Now this is in progress. I hope it happens. Sometimes, especially when it comes to education, high schools, you have some political drama there, so I'm trying to stay away from it. I'm just saying I just want to donate. I just want to do good for other people, to bring back value to the community. I don't want anything uh, from this political stuff. I just want people to be happy. Maybe I can even add my name at this room to say Pashov or whatever. That would be good. But yeah, I just want to bring value back because I have been receiving so much. And these are the goals so far. I probably will be donating even more. I'm also donating like small amounts to some different charities, to some different charity events. But yeah, I think every person should be giving value back, especially the strong people, the very successful ones. You have to decide for yourself, but there are certainly great causes where you can help. Yeah.
I highly appreciate it and I truly believe in it because I believe in good karma. And also, according to Judaism, I don't know if you know, but all your salary, you are supposed to donate 10% of your salary. Now, with taxes, it's a bit problematic because the country is already taking from you a lot of taxes. But before there were taxes and everything, willingly by Judaism, Jewish people were like commanded by God, take 10% of your money and just give it away to people who need it. If it's like poor people, people who doesn't have what to eat, or doesn't matter where you put it, but just that the money will be in like good use. And it seems like your donations are amazing and they're gonna go to the right places. If it's like organizations in the space, like non-profit organization like Y Academy or Securium, or building a computer room to invest in the future of like engineers and auditors. And this is amazing initiatives.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you said, personally, I'm not religious, but in religion, you can find a lot of great values and a lot of great things. And I certainly believe that you have to be a good person. You have to have good values to be helping people. And this is one of the best ways to do it. You directly are giving value to them, especially to the ones who are just starting out, who need it the most. It's a great thing. You have to be a good person. That's very important.
Talking about good person, we have another question from the audience from Paspe. How do you say such a great person and not arrogant as a very successful man auditor helping to the community? What keeps you humble and not becoming arrogant?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly. Uh, I can tell you that uh, I think enough to know that if I'm arrogant, it's not serving me. It's not serving anybody. I'll be losing friends. People won't like me. I won't like myself personally. I won't like my relationships, and it's a bad thing. I can be arrogant just for fun sometimes to make jokes and whatever, which is you having a good time. But there is no reason to be rude, to be arrogant to anybody. And you can even see my feed in Twitter. I mean, I'm posting every day, but I always stay away from drama. I try to never call people bad names, call people out. Even I recently had one tweet which came out wrong. Like it looked like I was bashing on good security companies, which I really respect. So I deleted one tweet, and yeah, what can I say? There's just no need to be arrogant, to be negative. You can do better things, and the good always wins anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to stay on the positive side, um, just from an egoistical standpoint, just for myself. Even I just want to have good vibes around me, not negative ones. So this is my philosophy. Yeah.
I have the exact same philosophy, and I really believe in good karma and like bring value, get value, don't put people down. The opposite, like lift them
Exactly.
up. And it seems like we're aligned on that. So this is the answer for the question.
Exactly.
Another question from Flint. Scaling a business can be challenging. What strategies or steps have you taken to handle the increasing demand for your auditing service? Obviously, your time is limited, and like, how are you scaling your time? Do you hire people? Do you use tools? Like, how do you scale your business?
Mhm. That's a great question, and I have been fighting with this problem a lot. I think a lot of people in this space, the security space, have been fighting with it because it's very hard to scale such a business. I mean, the skills and the knowledge you have to provide a quality service are very hard to get, and you need proper one-on-one training or special courses, because even if you go through the smart contracts hacking course, it's more for beginners or people that are close to the advanced level, but it's not for senior people. I mean, I won't personally get such a great benefit from the course because I have already done 30 audits. I have read more than 100 reports probably. I know most of the attack vectors, but I still need to progress. And this is how you provide a great service to clients, and how your business should grow, and how you should actually provide good value to the community, not just to get money out of them. So it's very hard to scale such a business. I can tell you that one thing that you always do when you have more demand than you can handle is that you can raise prices. So I have been doing this. This is how I have been making so much money, uh, doing so well in business. I have been raising prices. And one other thing that I have started doing is just sending clients off to another great security researchers. And so far, I have been taking no referral fee for this. I have thought about taking a referral fee, but I don't know. I still haven't designed how to make this business work and to be fair for everybody. So currently, I have not been taking any referral fee, but I have helped some friends and people to grow their business as well, and gave them clients that have been paying very, very big sums of money, which is a good thing. And clients are always happy. They're asking for more work. Uh, they're giving more work to the people I'm recommending. So it's a good thing. And yeah, this is mostly it. I have thought about scaling, hiring people maybe. I have never hired anybody for an audit. I have actually brought personal friends or people from the space on an audit with me, and just help them to get a feel of what an audit is. I have paid them a little bit of money, but I have never received actual value from them. I mean, the issues they report, I always find myself, and they probably report some low severity or informational issues, but it's still perfectly fine. I show them the process of an audit. I show them how I think. So it's like something like a mentoring, um, but it's not like hiring people to do my work anyway. Because one thing I believe for an audit is, even if you are a team of people, each single one of you should go through each character and line of code. And for some things, one researcher can go really into depth into that potential attack vector, and another researcher can go into other attack vectors in depth. But still, even if you are in a team, you still have to do a big amount of work, almost the same amount of work. So it's pretty hard to scale, I can tell you. There are interesting business models. You can see people in the space doing it, and I respect them a lot. I don't know if I will go in this direction. We will see. But yeah, for now, I have just been raising prices and sending clients off to other great researchers.
Yeah, this is very interesting, and we're actually doing the same in digital security. Since we have also a community that we know that there are like students that went through the course, and we can see their progress. So we are choosing the best students from the course. Chris was one of them, and we are allowing them to participate as interns in an audit. So, like you said, it's like usually they report more like low severity and gas optimizations, which also brings value to the clients, but sometimes they're even able to find like medium or high severity findings. And this was great experience for us and for them as well. So it's a good opportunity for them to participate in like a real audit and learn from a bit more experienced auditor. And also they get money for it. So they probably already covered the course expenses and made even more money. So it's like a win-win situation. And I think that you should also utilize it if it works well for you. So we have another question from Flint. If starting again from scratch, is there something you would have done differently? Or maybe not, just do the exact same thing?
Probably would have done the exact same thing. I have been working really hard, especially in the starting months. I mean, last 1 or 2 or 3 months, I have not been working at the exact same pace as before, because before I was working a lot of days, like 12 hours a day. Now I'm going out a little bit more. I'm enjoying life a little bit more. But yeah, it was a great experience back then, and I was doing it the proper way. I think this is the best way to progress the fastest, the quickest. This is to just dive head first into security, to start reading all reports, to start reading all articles, to speak to as much people as possible, to try to go to conferences, to events, participate in coder in contests, in Sherlock contests, and try to get some solo audits on the side. This is the best way, and I don't regret anything. I think I'm doing really well, and I'm still on my way to achieve even bigger goals. So yeah, everything is going well.
That's great to hear. And you talked about the fact that you raise the pricing when there is more demand because you can do that. And it's like, it makes sense, because maybe there is another client that will be willing to pay more for your time. But in general, how do you determine a pricing for a solo audit? Like, is it like just the amount of line of codes, maybe the complexity of the code? Maybe it's like, okay, if it's like very math heavy, it will be a bit more expensive. Or maybe it's a protocol that you are less familiar with, something very novel and new. Like, how do you define the pricing before you give a quote to a client?
Exactly. So yeah, you're in the right direction. This is how it usually works. My pricing is always project based. So I first want to look at at the code to see what the protocol is doing. It's very important to see the number of lines of source code, to see the number of smart contracts and external dependencies, to check what the project's timeline looks like, because some protocols really want to launch yesterday. They don't have even a day to wait anymore. They really rush things. Sometimes they don't have unit tests, which is a bad thing, because uh, some issues are really much easier to find with unit tests than with a manual audit. So I don't really like reviewing code bases that don't have unit tests or don't have documentation or whatever. So there are a lot of factors built in, and as you said, sometimes protocols are very complex. They have a lot of assembly usage, or they have like memory manipulation, or they have very math heavy logic. Like imagine a curve fork. They have so much math and stuff like this, which will take me much more time. For example, imagine reviewing 100 lines of code in two code bases. In the first code base, those lines can be just probably getter methods and some very small stupid logic. And in the other project, it could be very math heavy logic, which requires so much time, so much pen and paper writing or whatever. So lines of code is a good metric, but it's just not enough. And of course, another factor is how much I would want to go into that direction and to be becoming a better auditor with such protocols. I'm currently not filtering this that much, but I have seen that I do really well with NFT related protocols, because usually the code bases are not that big and they fit a solo audit very well. I know most of the security attack vectors which are present in such code bases, so I do well. I provide a lot of value, and yeah, and sometimes when you get those very big lending protocols, lending and borrowing, it's not very suitable for a solo audit. You need a lot of time. You need to think through those protocols, and I personally have been reviewing only maybe one or two or three such protocols, so I'm not that experienced, and I will need a lot of research on the side done for such a protocol. It will take me more time, but yeah, usually, what can I say? One example to figure out pricing for yourself is to just say, for example, a day of my work will cost, let's say, $1,000 or $2,000. Some people I know are charging up to 3, 4, 5K dollars a day. Some people are charging $200. It's up to you, your skill level, your negotiation tactics, and everything, your business level, your brand. But yeah, you can figure this out for yourself and decide how many days roughly it will take you for a code base, and you can give them a pricing based on this. But yeah, so many factors, so you cannot just speak about pricing. You just have to see the protocol first.
Yeah, very interesting point. And also, you mentioned that some of the protocols that you audited, they had TVL of $20 million. Was it like before you started auditing that? It was like a on-chain deployed protocol, or after you finished, then it was deployed and then the TVL came in?
Yeah, actually, not before, because I don't audit protocols that are already live on mainnet. Usually not, because they cannot be upgraded. Most of the time, they cannot be upgraded. They cannot be, if I find security issues, they cannot be fixed. And protocols realize this, and they know they have to get an audit before launching on mainnet. So yeah, this protocol I think got this TVL after my audit. They got like $20 million of TVL. After this one that I have just audited, like I audited it on, let's say I finished on Friday, and on Saturday night it already had almost $2 million locked into it. It was a staking
Wow.
contract. Yeah, so it's crazy. And yeah, some protocols I don't even realize that they're big protocols. I mean, I always read their docs and I read their code, but sometimes I don't go exactly uh, on their statistics or on their website. I go on the docs on the GitHub on their website, but I sometimes don't go on their exact website where you can see like $10 million of TVL. So many users are using it. Our application is number one in whatever leaderboard or whatever. So yeah, sometimes I don't even realize how big a protocol that I'm reviewing is. And another one that I have reviewed, the Empire wallet, I have reviewed their version 2, but their version 1 had have like more than 20 millions of total value locked, and some of those money will be migrating to the new version of their wallet, and all of their new users will be off to their new wallet version, which I have reviewed personally. So it's a big responsibility, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy securing so much money. It's really
I
a
believe it's
challenge. Yeah.
very satisfying to know that you're helped to secure a contract that now holds $20 million, that you were the one that if you miss something, this $200 million could be at risk.
Of course, of course. This responsibility comes with authority, which is a good thing because you are actually an authority in the space. Your word matters, your thinking matters, and people respect you, which is a great thing. But you have the responsibility because if a protocol gets hacked, you probably be the one to be judged about it, and it's a dangerous thing. And I'm certain that this will happen someday to me as well, because I don't think there is a researcher who has done enough audits who hasn't had a protocol getting hacked, or at least a protocol getting, for example, reported a critical severity or a high severity issue reported on Immunify or whatever. So it's just a matter of time. You cannot guarantee security with audits, but you can just do your best effort. And yeah, it's a great thing to know that the protocols that I have been auditing have been doing very well so far. It's a good thing.
Definitely. There is no 100% guarantee in anything in security. Audit is not 100%. It's obviously it will help you be better in terms of security, but it's always better to get more approaches. Either if it's like bug bounties, if getting audits from multiple companies or multiple auditors, it's just, we always say, and also in traditional cybersecurity, we cannot prevent a hack 100%. We can make the hacker life 10 times or 100 times more difficult, so it will choose a different target that is easier.
Yeah.
So you are trying to make his time not profitable, and the more you secure the system, the harder for it for the hack, and the more expensive. It's all terms of money, time, and resources. Anything can be hacked. Maybe
course.
not always in smart contracts, but in traditional cybersecurity, any network, any machine, the most secure machine is a machine that is shut down. There is no electricity going in the computer, but any computer can be hacked. Any cellular mobile phone can be hacked. You have 0 days. And yeah, it's all about like making the hacker life harder and making his attack more expensive and more resource consuming. So
Yeah.
that's the
It's a really
mindset.
exciting space. Yeah, really exciting space. It's a different mindset. It's such a cool thing. It's very cool to be fighting off attackers and making their lives harder.
Were there in any instances where you had to say no to potential clients because you didn't like the code base, the offer wasn't sufficient enough for you? Like,
Yeah.
can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, I have had a lot of occasions where they had a very, very large code base, but they're offering not that much of money. They have a low budget. And I have had times where protocols are building this very complex application, for example, a lending and borrowing platform, which is expected to grow a lot. It will probably have more than $1 million of total value locked. A lot of people will be using it, and they're trying to get an audit for like 5 or 10K, which is not a good deal. I mean, you're securing millions of dollars of so many users, you cannot have small budgets when it comes to security. And also my time is valuable. The time of all security researchers who are actually good is valuable, and for this kind of money there is no chance that you get a good researcher to work on your code base. So this means you're not taking into consideration the security of your client's funds, which is a very bad thing. I would never deposit money in such a protocol. But yeah, I wouldn't post on Twitter about this or whatever. So yeah, I have had such dealings with some protocols, and yeah, some other times the protocols just it's not that they're stingy, it's not that they don't want to pay you, it's just that they still haven't raised funds, they want to move quick, they don't have the money or whatever. And I just tell them, okay, it's fine, you probably are not getting so many clients yet, so many people using your platform in the beginning anyway. So what I can offer you is just to contact you with other researchers who also do a great job reviewing your contracts, who also provide a quality service, but they are not experienced as experienced as I am, and they will work for a lower price point, and they're usually fine with this. So this is how almost always my decline when it comes to a small price, to a small budget in terms of the client, is just me referring them to other researchers. This is how I usually say no. um, I don't know. Apart from this, I don't think I have had such other much other cases. I have had one client who had this crazy big code base of like 16,000 lines of code,
Wow.
only code, 16,000 lines of code, and with new lines and comments, it was like 25,000 lines. It was crazy. So I didn't even know what to quote them. Then they shrunk the scope a little bit. They got it below 10K lines of code, but
Which is still a lot for Solidity.
yeah, it's still a lot. And for a sole auditor, I would have to take 2 months off of my business, and I probably can't charge them as much as I would make if I do smaller audits with more clients, retaining those clients for a longer time. So it wasn't a great business decision. I didn't work with that protocol. And but yeah, almost always it's always one thing that I tell to protocols. Even if I decide to not work with them, I always say I want to help in every way possible. Let me know what you need, let me know what your needs are and what you can offer. I'll try to do the best thing for you. I will contact you with the right people. I will do myself consulting for a smaller budget, maybe not do a fully fledged audit, but I can consult you for a day or two or whatever. It's still a good deal for you, it's still a good deal for me. uh, I just want to help anybody. This is how you do business well, this is how you provide value. So this is my intention and way of doing.
And I think this is what differentiates you with other service providers in the field. And this is also how you keep client satisfaction, right? Because even if you don't see any value that you can derive for them, you still bring them value and you're like making sure they are happy, because maybe, they will be happy. They will say something good about you, maybe to another potential client, or in general, shout out in Twitter or something, and just provide good value. Even if you cannot extract value from the other side, you just give value, which is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, this is how you grow as a business, and this is how you live a good life as well. I think your business grows, your relationships are better, you just do good things, you live a happy life. This is it.
Do you have any other tips for like increasing client satisfaction? How to make sure that the client are happy? How do you maintain positive relationship with them?
Mhm.
With clients
Yeah, I
that you
already.
accepted? Yeah.
Sorry.
With clients that you worked with, that you accepted, not the clients that you said no to.
Yeah, as I said, I mentioned a few things, but um, customer experience really matters. And as I told you, I tell them I want to help you in every way possible. I also tell them I'm at your service. So basically, I'm working for them. They're paying me. I'll do whatever I can, which I which is possible, to serve them, to improve their security, to even improve their protocol design or whatever. It's just that you have this mindset of a servant, because this is what you are as a consultant. You serve them, they give you value in terms of money, and you give them value in terms of your knowledge and skills. So you're renting out your brain time or whatever. So you just try to do your best. You you have to be friendly with clients. You don't have to have this adversarial mindset of attacking them or proving the developers that the developers are stupid or wrong or whatever. You don't ever need this. You can become friends with everybody and also show them how they did things incorrectly, why they did them incorrectly, how to do them better next time. So
Don't
yeah,
shame them for not following CEI pattern.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, you didn't follow CEI pattern. Shame on you.
Yeah, of course, of
Don't
course.
do that.
There are multiple ways to communicate information to people. There are ways to communicate it as an asshole and as a cool, charming guy. You have to be studying how to communicate with people if you cannot do it well. It's very important, especially when you want to grow a business where you speak to clients. It is very important to have that skill.
I think also
Um,
giving another tip, sorry for cutting you, but another tip is also giving them good feedback. If you see something good about the code, about the documentation, about some kind of workaround solution they came with, and you're like, wow, this is like a good developer, it's not gonna kill you if you're gonna give like also a good word for the client. Oh, this contract is genius, or like this protocol, I really like the idea behind it.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I recently audited a protocol where I tried so hard. I even tweeted about it, tweeted what I did because it was a small protocol and it was non-custodial. It was not holding money in any way, so it was very hard to find a security vulnerability into it. And I tried so hard. I read multiple documentations. I checked the dependencies documentations. I read Ethereum improvement proposals that they were using. I did so many things, and I still couldn't find an issue in it. Maybe they have had a previous audit, or maybe the developers were very good. I don't know. But yeah, I gave them a praise. I told them that it was a very good protocol. I'm a bit sad that I cannot find anything, and but they said it's perfectly fine. They are actually more happy this way, and although I don't believe this. I really like to find vulnerabilities, but yeah, we will be working together with them again. Even though I didn't find vulnerabilities, they still like the service. I found only some very stupid low severity issues, and they still want to work together again because they said they will be changing the code a little bit, so they will need a subsequent audit. And yeah, you can see that even if you didn't find issues, clients can still be happy, can still find it valuable because this is another thing that you can improve customer satisfaction. You have to really be engaged in this audit. You have to ask a lot of questions. You have to show that you really understood the protocol, you really understood the architecture, even some off-chain components of it. For example, in this specific protocol that I'm talking about, there was a relayer in the architecture. So I was really trying to look for relayer attack vectors to try to maybe waste gas of the relayer or do a gas attack on it or whatever. It didn't work. I couldn't find a way to do it. But yeah, you really have to show that you care, that you are putting in the hours, you are working hard, and yeah, this is how you leave a nice impression. It not only doesn't have to be fake, it cannot be fake. If it's fake, people will know that you are doing it just for the sake of it. You just have to do it naturally. But I don't know, if you're not engaged with the customer and if you're not asking a lot of questions, I don't see how you can do a good audit. I always have great discussions with my clients. You can see all of my Telegram chats with clients. I ask so many questions. I even become friends with the developers. It just happens naturally. So yeah.
Hmm. These are some great tips over there, and you need to really mean it, not just do it for the sake of doing it. Just really enjoy giving the value and being nice to them. I highly agree with that. Can you describe the process of a private audit, like from the moment that the clients reach out to you, then you get the code, the Solidity line of codes, you give them a quote. How is the audit going? Just let us go through you with the whole process from the beginning to the mitigation and giving them the final report and charging the money. So how does it look like?
Sure. Yeah, so basically, all of my clients, probably 95% of my clients, are coming from Twitter. It's like inbound requests. They just slide into my DMs from having seen some of my posts. Or sometimes I get clients through referrals as well. But they're not forced referrals. As I said this morning, one of my clients just said, "Can I refer you to another founder?" I said yes. But yeah, clients just reach out by themselves. They ping me. They say, "Hello, we would like to get an audit. What is the price and everything?" And I start asking questions. I say, of course, "Nice to meet you. some normal human stuff, and then I ask them questions about what their actual needs are. I want to understand what they really need. Do they need an audit? When do they need an audit? How big is their code base? Do they need to audit the whole code base or just a part of it? Have they had previous audits? Is their code forked? I ask a lot of questions like this to get a sense and get a feel of what their actual needs are, so I can provide a great service to them, and to see what and to scope what my actual work would be. And then after all of those questions, we can discuss what their budget is, or I can give them a quote in terms of pricing. And I always take 50% prepayment upfront, which I have had no problems now. Over 30 clients, I always do this same way. I get 30%, 50% payment prepayment. I always get paid in crypto as well. I have good accountants who account my money in a good manner here in Bulgaria. And when I get the prepayment, I usually do a pre-audit review. I have shared this on Twitter already, but I can share again now. I do this pre-audit review, which is a great thing where I clean up the code base from some stupid stuff like open to-dos, stale comments, redundant code, just some best practices that usually are in a QA report on Code Arena. I give them those recommendations. They fix them really quickly, and then after those fixes are in, we freeze the code, and I actually start looking into serious security vulnerabilities, trying to attack the code in every way possible, thinking as a black hat, reading documentation, getting into the depth of it. And here I'm already starting to write my reports, starting to write some technical documentation, as I said, the happy use case or whatever. I start having some notes for some low, medium, high critical severity vulnerabilities, and I'm asking a lot of questions in the chat with the client. And yeah, this usually takes, I don't know, on average, an audit takes a week because I work with smaller code bases usually. And when I'm done with the audit, I tell them just that I'm done with the report, and I'll send them the initial version. So I send it to them, then they send the other 50% of the money. And from there, we discuss the report. I gather feedback from them, and they start applying fixes that I have given as recommendations, or different fixes that they have decided. And in 2 or 3 days, I review the fixes. I go over their commits that have diffs on GitHub. I review the fixes. I review that they haven't added any more security vulnerabilities, and that they have actually fixed and patched the old ones. And when this is done, I add the latest reviewed commit hash by myself in my audit report. And I send them over the audit report. I upload it on GitHub, and that's it. I thank them for working with them. I say I had a great time. I would love that they would refer me to other clients, or I would love that if we do business together again. Stuff like this, the normal, usual stuff that humans should do. And yeah, this is how it works. And I have had over 30 clients now. All of them have been happy. I have been posting a lot of screenshots of discussions with happy clients. None of them have been written by myself or by my friends. All of the messages are real. Clients are very happy. And yeah, this is the process pretty much.
Thank you for sharing the process. This is very interesting. We have some similar process, but we are actually charging the other 50% after the mitigation review is over. So after we help them and we give them the final report with all the status, this is where we charge the other 50%. And this is very cool. Did you have any chances, any incidents where like clients didn't want their audits report to go public, or is it a requirement when you start working with a client that you're gonna share the audit report at the end?
Yeah, good question. Not a requirement. Not a requirement. I wouldn't hinder my business just for the sake of it. Reports are a great marketing piece for me, and a great thing for the community. I give a lot of value to the community because they can be reading my reports. They can actually be understanding the attack vectors that I'm finding and I'm thinking about, and they can actually start finding the same issues themselves. So it's a good thing for the community. It's also a good thing for my business in terms of marketing, but even if I don't do it, if I still get paid from a client, it's also good. And so far, all of my reports have been published, apart from some reports that have been that I have done with other companies in a team or whatever, or from through some agency. I have just one report that the client is saying like, we want you to upload it when we actually deploy the product, and we're taking a bit of time until we are deploying it. So this one report is like, I'm holding it for almost 2 months now, but I will be publishing it sometime because
Mhm.
it has a critical severity vulnerability. I would really love to share it. It's a cool one. But I have had no protocol that is saying, please do not publish the report. We are not fine with it. I have had some clients that have said this initially, but then I speak to them. I just say, why would you not want this? I think it's actually a good thing. You have to be transparent. People are, I mean, the communities are already demanding it from protocols usually. So it's a good thing anyway. And they say, yeah, it makes sense. So let's do it. And I always applaud them. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing this as well. And now we're going to talk a bit about lifestyle and investment. So, obviously, as your business growth, you have more income and more revenue. Do you invest this money somehow into crypto, into real estate, into stocks, or you just hold it as like cash?
Yeah, so basically, I can tell you that I have not started investing yet. Exactly right now, at this stage, I am sitting on a big pile of cash right now. A lot of money have been piling up. I have not been spending them. I mean, I have been spending a lot. I have did some lavish things in my lifestyle, had a lot of fun with friends, bought some cool stuff. I already had a nice car, but I bought a nicer watch for myself because I really like watches. Apart from this, most of the money, a big almost the whole part of the money that I have been making have been sitting in my bank accounts in fiat currency. And right now, I'm thinking of moving into real estate a little bit because I have good connections there. I have a great personal friend, which is really close to me, who is in that business and who knows it really well, the ins and outs of the business. And we're thinking about a partnership where I will be the lead investor and he will be mostly the execution guy who will do everything. And it should work really fine. I'm right now speaking to banks to get some loans to help me do a bigger project than what I'm capable of funding myself, and then I'm moving in that direction. So I will be investing a little bit in not a little bit, a lot actually, almost all of my net worth into real estate. I will be taking a bit of a riskier bet there, but this is how I like it. I like risks. Um, and yeah, this is what I will be doing. But apart from this, I don't invest in cryptocurrencies right now. I don't hate on it. It's just not my cup of coffee. Just not what I do.
You see how
Um,
many vulnerabilities there are, so you're staying away from it.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah, as you said, if you just open your MetaMask wallet and the money are gone, you cannot tell anybody. I mean, there are some people that you can actually reach out to and make them try to help you, but in
Most of
most
them are
cases,
gonna be scammers that gonna tell you, "Hi, yeah, we are MetaMask support," but it's like just a scam.
yeah, most of them will scam you even further. But there are like 2 or 3 guys who are doing really great in the space, who I'm very grateful to have them. I personally haven't worked with them, but I see they have been helping a lot of people, which is a great thing. But yeah, in most cases, you won't get your money back, and $100,000 for the whole space is nothing. But for me personally, it's a great sum of money, and it can change my life. I can live a few years off of that kind of money, build a business with those money, or even build a house here or start building a house here in Bulgaria or whatever. So yeah, I try to stay on the safe side, which currently for now for me is to just put them into fiat currency and invest them in real estate maybe right now. So this is the direction I'm moving into. This is how I will be investing my money for the next for the upcoming year, probably real estate.
That's interesting that you are working full time in crypto, but you still don't invest in crypto. You know, I remember also from our previous conversation that you did used to invest in crypto, but more like in a low cap tokens and stuff
Yeah.
like that for the fun of it. But I'm a bit opposite. I am a true believer in decentralized money. That's why I believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I used to do a lot of DeFi before I started focusing into smart contract security. But now I'm doing less DeFi because the risk is just too high, especially when I see how many vulnerabilities there are out there. So I just prefer to hold to ETH and Bitcoin, and that's it.
Yes, exactly. I really respect this. I also 100% believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Of course, I'm part of this space. It it works wonders. As I said, there are a lot of things that I like a lot about this space. But yeah, when it in terms of investments, you have to first diversify, which is a very good thing. But as I said, I'm a guy who likes more risks, and you wouldn't call real estate very risky, but I think it has the perfect amount of risk because I'll be buying land myself, and then I'll be building on it, which and then selling a house, for example, which can bring a great yield. Like I can almost probably almost double my money, which is not easy to do in crypto. I mean, it might be easy, but it's the risk is much higher. And with Bitcoin and in Ethereum, it's you can double your money, of course, especially in Ethereum. I think it will grow a lot pretty soon. I don't know when, but this is the better bet for me right now. But yeah, I'm not really into low market cap coins and NFTs anymore. I'm just not going on that route. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are great bets. Uh, Much less risk there. So yeah, they're good for investors, I think.
Indeed. So you're receiving money in, you said in crypto, but you hold the money in the bank. So can you share about the process of like how like you convert it from crypto to fiat? And you also shared with me that you're using directly Circle, which is super cool. You avoid like fees. So how much fees do you pay through the process of converting the money that comes through crypto to your fiat to the bank? And what tips and tricks can you give?
Mhm. It is a great question, and I think this is very valuable to everybody to hear who is doing off ramping from crypto to fiat, because I have been looking for information regarding this, and I have found almost nothing. The fees of all platforms are pretty hidden. You cannot understand what spread they put on their order books and what fees you are paying. So I was first using Binance, which the fees there were very low. First, I was using FTX. With FTX, you get
Oh, yeah, I remember.
yeah. I think we spoke exactly around our first interview about
Yeah, and
this.
we alerted each other. I think I alerted you, or I told you, and because I remember you said that
Yeah.
you have money in FTX, and then you said no, I withdrew it before.
Yeah. I managed to withdraw them. It was very lucky. But yeah, FTX worked really closely with Circle, I guess, and they had this guarantee of one USDC is equals one USD. So you got the exact same amount in your fiat bank. Uh, mm, in your bank in your bank account, you got the exact same amount that you had USDC on chain. But this changed when FTX crashed, when everything happened badly there. I moved to Binance, where I still got a pretty good rate. I think again, I just swapped USDC to BUSD or whatever, and it was the same rate. And BUSD was guaranteed to be one to one with the dollar or whatever. So I got the same thing again. It worked really nicely. I paid like $10 or $20 of a fee for withdrawals, something like this. It was
Like fixed fees.
negligible.
So if you withdraw a big amount,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, it was great. But then Binance got hit as well. They stopped working with US dollars. With euros, it worked fine, but I didn't want to swap to euros because I had to do another swap, which would cost me money. And I moved to Kraken, where in Kraken you didn't have this guarantee of USDC equals one USD. You had to swap USDC to USD, which took almost 1% of your money. So if you swap $100,000, you lost 1,000. But this was my only option back then, so I did this once, and I lost some good amount of money because I wanted to withdraw a big chunk of cash, and it was bad. But then I learned about Circle, which are they are the actual creators of USDC. This is where you can mint USDC and where you can redeem USD for burning your USDC, and they guarantee you this rate, of course, one to one. So yeah, I went on their website and I saw that first. Maybe it's my country, I don't know, but I think not. I think they only accept business clients, so you have to have a registered business. And when I tried applying with my business, it took so long. It took like 2 months probably maybe 8 or 10 weeks. It took so long. They turned me down. They're not saying no, but they're just returning back the application and saying, we need more data, we need more data, you didn't give us the right data, we need more, we need more. And this took like 8, 9, 10 weeks, but finally it worked out. And now I'm using Circle, which is great. It has no fees. I think, I don't know if it even has bank fees. It probably has, you're paying a few dollars, but you're getting almost the same amount that you have USDC on chain to your bank account, which is great. I recommend Circle, but you have to have a registered company, and it will take a while to get a confirmation. Even if you are spamming their email, I was doing this. I always emailed them after giving them more data, but it still took a long time. But it was all worth it. Now I'm using this, and I'm happy. And I'm not moving anywhere else. I don't need to use centralized exchanges and do extra transactions. I just receive my money in my Circle wallet, and then I burn the USDC for USD. Works like charm.
That's some awesome tips for withdrawing crypto to cash. Thank you for sharing. And you also mentioned that you are traveling a lot, but you're also providing a lot of value and work a lot. So can you share some tips of how to like have a good lifestyle as an auditor and how to combine your professional life and like your hobbies and activities?
Yeah. I think it happens naturally. You have to figure it out for yourself, for your personality type. But I can tell you that almost everywhere, every time I go uh, out of my apartment for, let's say, more than 4 or 5 hours, I always bring my laptop, because I know something can happen. Maybe a client can have a security breach or a vulnerability discovered or whatever, or an exploit, and I would have to be ready. So I always bring my laptop with me on when I'm traveling, of course, as well. And yeah, even when you're traveling, you can still be doing an audit even with a slower pace. You can, I don't know, depends on your holiday and how. For example, when you go on a very short holiday for like 2 or 3 days, and you want to actually experience it fully, completely, and go visit a lot of places, you probably won't have even a minute to open your laptop. But as I said, you still have to tweet, for example, once a day. This is what I do. I always tweet. I sometimes schedule my tweets to be posted. I use like Tweet Hunter to schedule my tweets, which is a great tool. I use it only for this, just to schedule them. I mean, I don't know why Twitter doesn't have a scheduling built in.
They
Maybe it
actually
has.
have. They added it,
Yeah,
but
they
it's
have.
pretty shitty. Yeah. I also use a
Yeah,
scheduling app. It's called Social Boo. It helps
yeah,
me schedule both on Twitter and on LinkedIn. They just added
yeah,
scheduling, but it works very bad.
yeah. That's what I thought as well. But yeah, I just schedule my tweets, and if I have more time, for example, especially when you're not with a girl, when you're not with a girlfriend, you usually have more time on a trip. And when you go in bed to get some sleep, I always sleep with my laptop. I always
Sleep
uh,
with your, what do you mean sleep with your laptop? Like how you
always, yeah, almost like this. Almost, if it's not a girlfriend on the other pillow, it's my laptop. It's like every night. Last night, the night before, every night. For like 2 years now. And this certainly messes up with your sleep. I don't recommend it completely, but it works, especially for me. This is how I steal more hours for building my business, my skill, everything. And it really works for me. My sleep is not the best, but I manage it fine. I sleep until late today as well, and it kind of works. But yeah, if you're on a trip, you can go home, and when you're almost about to fall asleep, you can open your laptop for a little bit, because most people scroll TikTok, scroll Instagram. They just are wasting time. And I do this myself sometimes, but I, especially before bed, I prefer just reading some articles, some Medium articles, or going on Twitter, or checking out the Telegram channels or Discord, or even doing an audit of myself. To be honest, I have been finding a lot of vulnerabilities
in bed?
while doing, yeah, in bed, a lot of vulnerabilities in bed just before bed. Not the most complex one, the most complex ones, no, but usually common vulnerabilities I have been finding a lot in bed. So yeah, this is actually saving time for myself for the next day. For the next day, let's say I have 4 hours to work. If I don't focus on the common vulnerabilities, I can focus on the actual real complex vulnerabilities, which is great. So this way I steal money for myself, steal time for myself. And yeah, even if you are on a trip, you can do this technique. This is my way of doing it.
That's some cool tips of like auditing in bed and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I do it every day, every day.
Thank you for sharing this. And so you also told me that you hired like personal assistants because obviously your business grows, your time is limited during the day. You want also to have some hobbies and personal life. So you decided to hire a personal assistant. Can you share a bit information about like why did you decide to do it? How does it help you? What kind of things she or he is doing for you?
Mhm. Yeah, this is a great question. I can say that this was one of my best decisions that I have done as a businessman, if I can even call myself this way, because now I have a full-time employee and paying him salary. Mm, yeah, it's a man, it's a guy. He's older than me and he has experience in such things like executive assistant, something like this. But yeah, I have found myself growing my business because I do everything right. I do everything by the book. I do accounting well. I account for all of my money, and I spent a lot of time dealing with accountants, dealing with paying taxes and stuff like this. And also every day you have small chores, whatever it is. I don't know. Sometimes you have to go to the mall to buy something, to order something. So I always wanted to delegate most of those things to someone else. And yeah, one other thing that I can give as a business tip is most people who are interested in business have been watching this YouTube channel of Alex Hormozy, which is this great guy who is doing like 9 or 10 figures, like more than 100 millions of dollars of revenue in his companies. And he's a very, very successful entrepreneur. He has all of the formulas. He can teach you to get rich 100%. And one of the great advices that he's giving is that the first hire usually in such a business, especially one as mine, who is like a solo business, the first hire should be an operations partner, a guy who or a girl who solve all of the operations problems. Who, if you have other employees, he will do the payroll, he will do the salaries, he will manage them, he will manage the expectations, help you with hiring, stuff like this. Figure out everything when it comes to taxes, accounting, registrations of the company, business expenses, stuff like this. For example, now I have a trip to France, to Paris, for the ECC and for the DeFi Security Summit. He took care of it. He helped me book a hotel, flight, everything. So if you do this, it's a great thing, because first of all you create another employment. You pay someone a great salary, because I pay him very well for Bulgarian standards, especially. You help another person, you build a nice relationship with him, and he's actually helping you have more time to provide real value to customers, real value to clients, and build a better business. Because if you are spending 3 hours a day doing chores and stuff that you don't need, going to the store, buying whatever you need. For example, if let's say you want to buy a t-shirt for a friend, or not a t-shirt, even this is a great example. My t-shirt that I'm wearing right now, the Pashov Blocksec t-shirt, which is a great one. It has a picture on the back. I'll be wearing it in Paris. It will be really cool. People will see it. But yeah, even with those t-shirts, I couldn't spend the time to design them myself and speak to manufacturers and whatever. My assistant did it, and it was a great thing, because while he was doing it, I was doing an audit and I was making great money. I was providing value to the client. I was making enough money to pay him a great salary so he can live great. And this is how you do business correctly. I'm still a very big newbie in business, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy studying business models and ways of managing people and everything. It's really interesting to me. I'm really a newbie, but this is one thing that I have experienced now, and I can tell you that it's a great business decision. If you do such a business in a solo way, you need to hire an assistant. It will help you grow the business and scale 100%, and improve your life and the quality of your life, which is very important.
For sure. And you're paying salary for another person, helping them live. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
And
Yeah.
yeah. So the Web3 security space evolved over time. We have so many new things since our last conversation. There are bot races. There are like a judging contests in Sherlock. We have Heads Finance emerging in. How do you experience this kind of evolvement? What can you tell us about it? Like all these kind of recent trends. What do you think about them?
Yeah, they're really great. I'm following them closely. I'm not part of them. For example, I don't have a bot who competes in these bot races, and I haven't competed in the Heads Finance security contests, which have a little bit different model. They are very close to Coderina and Sherlock, but they have more of a bug bounty approach where only the first person to actually submit an issue will get the whole reward for it, which is a very interesting thing. A very nice model. I like it a lot. They bring a different mm, approach, which is very valuable. But yeah, especially with those bot races, I mean, Code Arena have really been a great public good in the space, and really um, figuring out ways to incentivize people to do better work in a better way, um, to serve not only the researchers but the clients. Everybody is well served from those bot races, and you can see this way people are incentivized to build those tools that will actually find issues and vulnerabilities in seconds. Where you have, for example, a product such as Slither in Trail of Bits, who has a different business model, and you have people that are getting paid a salary to build this product, and it still works great. It still finds a lot of vulnerabilities, but it's like a different incentivization model. And the Team Code Arena are the best people when it comes to incentivization of people in the right direction. And yeah, the bot races have been making a tremendous difference. I'm even speaking to one of the people who is sometimes winning those bot races, and he wants us to work together. We might actually try this on an audit sometime soon. We'll see how I can integrate him. But yeah,
Is it Dravi by any chance? Because Dravi is one of the leading ones.
no, it's not him. It's not him. It's just because one guy has reached out. I haven't been reaching out personally because I still haven't figured out how to integrate him entirely. But I'll probably try working with him at least once, and from then on, maybe we can work with Drave. And I don't know. You can even buy such a bot, and let's say you pay some guy who is developing such a bot. You pay him 20K, and you tell him you have to develop it for 3 months more, and you have to train a guy who works for me to actually be developing it further then. And this can be a good business decision. So I'm sure we will see competitors of myself probably, and even myself doing this. Maybe we'll see this, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. But yeah, it's a great thing. And another great news that are in the space, of course, you have Immunify, who are every month are paying such crazy amounts to researchers and are getting great, very large bug bounties. One, I think Layer Zero, or who was it? I don't remember, but they announced $50 million for a critical severity issue, which is crazy. I mean, imagine getting $50 million just for one issue. I don't know if this will be
Insane.
paid out, but yeah, it's crazy numbers. And the biggest thing that has happened in the last few days is that Sherlock has upgraded their payments to their wardens, to their Watsons, they call them.
The lead Watsons, yeah, they
Yeah,
made
the
like
lead security
tiers
researchers.
based on your experience.
Yes, and they made them very high. I think now the lowest tier is paying around what?
7.5K. I think the highest is 22.5K for auditing
Exactly.
week.
Exactly, but before they were getting paid, even the best researchers, the leading wardens there, the leading Watsons were getting paid like 10K a week, something around this. And now the best ones will be getting paid more than double this. And Spearbit are famous with their $20,000 per week for the lead security researchers. But now Sherlock will pay the same thing to the top 25% of such researchers on their platform, and even to the top one uh, lead Watson, they will be paying like a bit more, like $2,500 more. So this is crazy. The competition is growing
And
a lot.
also they're able, by doing this just adjustment, they're able to increase the contest pool by 10%. That's what I heard.
Yes,
Because
yes, they'll
this new
be
model. Yeah.
Yes, they'll be raising prices a little bit, so clients will be paying a little bit more, but researchers will be getting paid much better, which is great. And I think now we will see Code Arena, Spearbit, Heads Finance, other platforms will also be raising their prices for clients, which means the researchers will be getting paid more, even better, and probably so auditors as well. Everybody will be raising prices, which I don't know, it's like an inflation, but I think it's still a good deal for clients because they get much more value than what they pay for. Let's see how this turns out. Let's see how it plays out. I think it will be very interesting. But yeah, it's great news that Sherlock are raising prices so much.
And a lot of people are also using judging contents in order to read, like getting paid for reading reports, because you need to classify other findings and other submissions of other auditors. So they say that also it's a great way to get started and to learn.
Yes, that is the best way right now. And here we can just give a tip for junior researchers, for people who are just starting out. Before, the best way to start out was doing QA reports on Code Arena, gas optimizations there. But this now has mostly been taken over by
By bot
bots.
races. Yeah.
Yeah, bot races, which is a good thing. Things have to progress in this space, and this is the way moving forward. But now you have those Sherlock judging contests, which are the best way now for people to start out, because this way you read a lot of vulnerabilities, a lot of attack vectors. You have to start understanding them, and when you start understanding them, you can find them yourself, and you are actually getting paid doing this. So right now, this is the best way for starters to start with Sherlock judging. Actually, the best way is to participate in the Sherlock contest, then do the judging contest. And this way, probably from either one of those, you should get a little bit of money, so you get motivated, and then you can do this again for the next contest. And yeah, I have never done a judging contest. I have heard that they are not very fun, but you have to start somewhere. And when you are making money, some people have been making thousands of dollars just from judging contests, and I think they have a lead judge role now as well, which is great. You are getting paid even more. So yeah, if I was a junior security researcher at this stage, I would have started in this way,
With
because
judging
this is the best
contests.
option. Yeah, with judging
Yeah.
contests. Yeah.
You also participated in Audit in Cantina, which is a new initiative by Spearbit DAO. Can you tell us a bit what is Cantina and tell us about your experience?
Yeah, I can tell you that they still haven't announced their platform that much, I guess, and they're still not very public. Even I personally, who I have worked with them, I don't know too many details because they're changing them. They're still trying to find the best product market fit and to be competitive with other platforms, because as you see, other platforms are raising prices, they're getting a lot of clients, and now this space of those like close to the centralized contest platforms or audits, security services, this space is getting really competitive, and you have to do really good business decisions to do well in it. And Cantina is basically, for now, I think is the same as Spearbit, but prices are much more floating prices. So you can have people, because Spearbit is very expensive. They provide a really great service, but it's very expensive. Usually audits cost more than 100K or even more than this. So clients really have the funds to invest that much. So in Cantina, you can get a much smaller audit, and you can pay a lead researcher maybe a bit less than 20K a week, and they can still be happy with it, because otherwise they wouldn't have any business. And now they still getting money, and they are doing again an audit which might not be that big or whatever. And yeah, it's basically like Spearbit, but just under a different brand name. And they might not follow just the same approach as Spearbit, because on Spearbit you have on an audit usually you have two lead security researchers, you have one associate security researcher, one security researcher, one junior researcher, which costs a lot. And this is the best way to do an audit, certainly uh, one of the best ways. But yeah, most clients
One
cannot.
of the most expensive ways also.
Yes, it's very expensive, and it works great for big clients who have great funding. But for smaller clients, it just doesn't work out. And Spearbit wants to serve those clients. They want to have this market share as well, because they really can provide a good service, and they can receive value from it. So it's a great business, and I think that's why they made Cantina, so they can get a bigger market share here, and they can serve the community better. And I think this is how it works out. I did an audit there. It was the same way as Spearbit. I mean, we were a few people, a team. We have found a lot of issues. We created a report which is public. It was a great experience. I would work with them again as well.
Thank you for sharing. And we have another question from the audience, this time from re-entrant. What do you wish were better in the industry, and how protocols and companies can collaborate better?
Protocols and companies. What do you mean? Protocols and security companies, probably.
I assume like protocols and security researchers and companies like Spearbit, like Auditor, like solo auditors.
Yeah, what can I say? So companies should really think about the whole life cycle of development and deployment and liveness of their protocol. They should really consider this. Um, what can I say? I think one of the best things that people should start doing, and I have also spoke to you about this, is that companies should really start giving developers security training. And of course, you cannot make developers security researchers. They are just two different roles. To be a good security researcher, you have to spend so much time that you cannot be a great developer in the same way. And also, if you're a great security researcher, you probably wouldn't be a developer because currently security pays better than development. So it's a really hard problem to solve, but I think developers just need security training. Certainly, at least one course which can take them anywhere up to 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks or whatever, spending 1 or 2 hours a day at work to watch it. I think it's worth it. I don't know exactly how companies would manage this, but I think it in the long term it's a great business decision from all perspectives, and it is very important. It's mandatory that developers have the basic understanding of security. They shouldn't be security researchers themselves, but they have to understand the basic security things. And I see they currently don't. They currently are lacking at this point. I know myself personally, when I was a developer, I was lacking, and I didn't understand security well, even the fundamentals, which is a problem, which is really a problem. And then on a potential audit, it wastes time of the security researchers to report and find the common vulnerabilities, not to focus on the actual important complex security vulnerabilities. So it's a problem, and this way companies can save money and can create better protocols, better products for clients. I think this is one of the great ways. And of course, all companies and all protocols, it's best for them to set up on-chain monitoring as well, maybe some circuit breakers patterns to use so that they will block a potential attack, a potential exploit on chain. And yeah, every line of code should be reviewed by an auditor. I mean, they just have to stick to the basics. They have to do a little bit more training for developers, and think will be good. That's it.
Yeah, definitely developer security training is needed. And if anyone needs something, they can reach out to me, because this is what we do. We provide education and training. And I think it's crucial for smart contract developers to at least have the basics or intermediate level of security once they write smart contracts. It's very important, and it can help the whole space get more secure. And this is important. Also, you are super active in Web3 security Twitter, and you has a lot of engagement and a lot of followers. I think around 12K followers. But it also came to my attention that there are some people that are literally copying your tweets and tweeting them as like they created them. And I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about that, and what message do you want to convey to those people that engage in this like not nice copy activities?
Yeah, it's certainly fun for me. I don't know. I have nothing against it. My business is doing well. I'm helping a lot of people and meeting a lot of people. It's good. I don't see this as a very bad competition, but certainly it's kind of it's not very smart to copy a tweet, like exactly copy paste it, even with the new lines and the emojis and everything. It's like you still get likes probably, especially if it's a good tweet and if I'm sharing a nice article or whatever. But it's a bit strange. I mean, you just it's better that you put your own spin to it and you tweet
Maybe,
it
yeah,
the way.
your own spin on just quote retweet it or just retweet it,
Yeah, that's also an option. That's also an option. And I can tell you that if you to those people that are just copying content, the better approach I can give you as an advice is just to be spending actual time practicing, doing audits, and learning stuff, reading a lot of articles, reports, and from there you have enough content to create yourself, and it will be authentic content. It will be actual value adding, and it will be beneficial for everybody, especially for the guy who is posting it. So this is the better approach. This is what I'm doing. I'm spending my whole days researching security topics, reading articles, reading reports, doing reports myself. I'm mostly practicing actually lately, mostly doing practice, mostly doing reports because I have a lot of clients lately. But yeah, from there you have enough content to create, and it will be cool content. It will really be nicer content, not
It
only
will be
copy.
authentic, it will be yours, original, and you bring new value because you don't just copy and replicate existing value, you're creating new value.
Yeah, and yeah, the first people who have started doing it, just copying tweets, I think they have done pretty well. Some of them have even started getting some traction, some followers, getting some business. But now it's getting a bit saturated with this, and when you see a lot of the same content, you actually get annoyed. I personally don't, but I don't think I see such tweets that are obviously copied and they have already been in the space. They just don't get so much attention. They just don't get so much reactions, which is not good for the guy who is posting it. I mean, you're obviously posting so you can get some kind of engagement, and if it's not working, then you just have to change approach. So this is what I tell you: just do this approach. Just do a lot of work and share what you're doing or what you're learning. This is the best way.
It's amazing that even when people copy from you and trying to like kind of like steal your tweets or your business, you're still not reacting in like an anger, but you're just giving them tips like don't do it, do something else to get better.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it just shows who you are, you know, and your energy, like positive energy in the space. This is amazing.
yeah. And in this space, everybody is doing well anyway. Everybody is making money. Everybody is providing value. Everybody is doing well, even in this bear market. So yeah, no need to be negative. Just help each other out. That's the best thing.
Exactly. Another question from Umesh. What advice would you give to someone who doesn't know anything about Web3 and want to start with Web3 security? Like what kind of like steps, advice?
Mhm. I think you're on the right direction. I think it's still not late. I think you're pretty early to it. It's a great point in time to start learning Web3 security. I even Web3 technologies. If you don't know Solidity, I would certainly go through Patrick Collins' Foundry course. This is the best resource right now. The best thing where you can learn Solidity, learn Foundry, which is a great framework, the most widely used right now, I think. And from there, you can move to the Securing Bootcamp, which is a great resource, which is a free resource. And you can also supplement it with the contracts hacking course. You can do them in parallel, for example, depending on which one you understand. Where you hit a plateau and you don't understand anymore, you can switch between them. And yeah, also start reading Coderina reports, Sherlock reports, participate in a few Coderina contests, Sherlock judging contests, even Sherlock contests. Try to do stuff like this. This is the best way to start. And yeah, when you do the Patrick Collins course, when you write a small project yourself, when you write some tests, when you actually deploy it to mainnet or whatever, you already have learned a lot. And then when you move to the security stuff, you start learning new stuff again, and you just start implementing and using them, practicing with them. You start making money, probably providing value. This is the way. This is what most people have done the past few months.
Definitely. This is a very good roadmap. And I always say, don't just read, you know? So Patrick Collins is very practical. My course is very practical. Don't just read audit reports, but try to participate in contests, in judging contests, in auditing contests, you know? Just do stuff. Even if you read audit report, clone the report, take a look at it yourself, maybe run the tests even. So learn by doing is the best way to learn, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, 100% agree.
That's amazing. Can you discuss it with us a bit of like upcoming projects that you're excited about? You're also going to ECC and to DeFi Security Summit. So something like exciting that you're going to announce, or I don't know, some kind of like a teaser for something in the
Yeah,
future.
I actually do have something just like 4 or 5 days ago. the CEO of a very big company in the space, a very big name in the space. Everybody knows them. Reached out for a potential sole audit. I will be auditing one part of their code base, a side protocol, a side project that they have been doing, not the main one, which is the famous one. But this is great. I mean, I'm so happy that he reached out. He's a famous guy. He have written a lot of code, and he just slid into my DMs, and we chatted a little bit. Went to Telegram, and now I'm about to do a sole audit for them. Soon this will be announced. It's probably the biggest brand that I have done a sole audit with in the Web3 space. So I'm very proud of this. And yeah, in the next few days, I'm going to Paris for the Web3 security summit, and then for the Ethereum community conference, the HCC. So I will be meeting so many people there. I might be giving out a few T-shirts. We will see. I don't know. I will get some T-shirts in my backpack to give out to friends, to nice people. Yeah, I have a lot of big clients coming soon as well. I'll probably be doing my highest paid audit this month so far, which is very good. I'll announce that soon. Maybe I'll announce how much I got paid. We will see about this. But
Stay
yeah,
tuned. Follow Pashov on Twitter. Turn on the notifications so you can get all the notifications right away.
Certainly. That's a great thing. I think if you follow me on Twitter, you catch all the things that will happen. And I always try to share the best alpha there, to share things first there and in my Discord community and on Twitter as well. So yeah, big things coming. I'll be working with big names. I'll be meeting big people, and we'll be working together. So stay tuned.
This is some awesome, exciting news, and we're all waiting for the announcement. And we have another question from JP Courses. How to maximize your learning curve? How to boost the speed of your progress? Like, how can you consume more information in less time? Like learning tricks and cheats.
Yeah. What can I say about this? I don't know. My approach hasn't been to be the most efficient with my time. My approach has been to put in as much hours as possible. So maybe I have bet a little bit more on the uh, quantity over quality, which might not be the best approach, but I can tell you that it has worked for me. I'm just trying to steal every minute possible from my day and to use it towards Web3 security. And minutes and hours just pile up. And when a month passes, I have been putting so much hours and time into this that I have learned so many things. Even if I'm not in the most focused state, I still do well. So what can I say? You have to look at it a little bit more long term, because this month will pass for sure. Next month will pass anyway. The next month will pass anyway. So in 3 months from now, if you are trying to put in as much hours as possible, I'm pretty sure that you would have learned so much things. And even if you have not been putting the most focused hours as possible, and you cannot be the most efficient with your time, you still have great results. And this is all that matters. And when it comes to focused work, everybody knows the basics. You don't have to touch your phone. You have to have good light or whatever. You have to have eaten, or I don't know, some people work better when they're hungry in the morning. You have to know your personality
Some of
type
them
and your
fasting. I'm fasting.
yeah, fasting for some people works great, and you just have to try it out for yourself. But I don't think it makes such a great difference in the long term. For a day or two it might make a big difference, and you might find it exciting and a thing that you can tweet about, share on LinkedIn, or speak to your friends. But I think all that matters is in the long term that you have put in as much hours as possible. This is the big game, actually, the big thing in this long term play. So this is my strategy.
No shortcuts. Go sit on your ass and work.
Exactly. It works. We have seen so many people do it this way. So why not try as well?
Awesome. So we're getting to the end, and now it's my favorite questions and the favorite part. What goals do you have for your future? So we revisited the previous goals. You conquered every single one of them. And what goals do you have? Maybe it's like, I don't know, participate in bug bounty programs. Maybe it's financial goals, private goals, whatever on your mind. This is your time to share.
Okay, so I really haven't thought much about this. I don't know. Basically, I have already accomplished almost all of my goals that I put in for me this year, because I didn't even know them back when we did our interview. But around end of December every year, I write my goals for the next year, and I have completed almost all of them now for 2023, even though we are just at the middle of the year. So, what can I say? Mm,
But it's always good to set some new ones, right?
Yes,
Higher.
yes, of course, but it gets a little bit harder with each year because I'm accomplishing most of the things that I care about. I have some values, as I said. I want to help my family. I want to help my friends. I want to have good health. Maybe next thing is I don't know, um, have a family of myself.
What about gym goals? I can see that you work out in the gym.
Yeah,
This is visible.
yeah. Yeah, what can I say? My gym goals are pretty much health goals now. I don't want to grow much bigger or get much leaner. I just want to be fit.
Maintain.
I Yeah, maintain. I train once a week with weights or with I do street workout, do pull-ups, dips, everything. And one time once a week I do kickboxing. Right now, for the past 3 or 4 months, I have been doing only 2 workouts a week or three, which is very it's strange for me because like for 10 years I was training almost every day, maybe 5, 6, 7 times a week. Sometimes I have been training even 10 times a week. um,
Wow.
yeah, training twice a day sometimes. But yeah, I have a good physique built in. I have good health, and yeah, I'm just maintaining. So I don't really have much of gym goals. I have a lot of business goals because business is a great game. I like it a lot. With business, it's not only that you have money and you have a lot of power, so you can influence the world the way you want to, but you have freedom and you can help your family and friends and solve most of the other issues in your life. So it's a great thing. And business is just a fun game. It's so fun to get more money, to do better than your competition, to provide value to customers. It's a very fun game. So this is what I will probably be doing with most of my life in the future. So yeah, as I said, uh, maybe one great goal for me, but this a long-term goal is certainly to have my own family. But this is a long goal. Probably won't be this year. Um, to maintain my health, of course. To grow my business right now, the Pashov auditing services should grow more. I want to hit the $1 million net worth sometime. I don't know when that will be, but let's see. I'll do great investments, and I'll be helping out my closest friends and other people in the community live a better lifestyle. Just become a nice person, to become a net positive for the space, for the people around me. And yeah, that's mostly it. And have some fun, of course. Travel more. I still haven't gone to Miami. I'm actually,
To
I
Miami in
forgot.
the States, yeah.
Yes, Miami in the States. I have to. I'm currently applying for a visa. I'm at the middle of the process, so I'll be applying for a visa. Probably visiting Miami later this year. This is a great goal of mine. Okay, yeah. And when it comes to business goals, I guess I want to be growing my business. Of course, I want to be serving clients. Maybe I'll add other services. Maybe someday I'll do incidents response or something like this. But I certainly want to do a better service, to improve myself as a security researcher and as a businessman who do the right way of marketing, of sales, of the actual execution of the service. And yeah, I really want to hit let's say $1 million of net worth or whatever. And I just want to keep playing this game. Probably I'll be hiring some people. Maybe I will be doing a side business. If I find a nice co-founder or something like this, we can launch an actual Web3 security company where we will do team audits or something like this. We will see what the future holds. But first, let's have some fun. Let's travel some countries, spend some money, meet some cool people in the space and outside of the space, and yeah, live a good life. Live a good life, of course.
These are some great goals. Thank you for taking the time sharing with us these goals, all your experience and the stories. It was a great time discussing with you and learning from your experience. So once again, thank you so much for coming here and sharing it with us. And I wish you the best of luck with your future audits and your business and your life goals. And I hope you enjoy in the conference and meet a lot of cool people. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend, but I will be hearing a lot of stories, and I maybe in the next conference I will be able to attend. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you as well for hosting me. I wish all the best to you as well, and maybe in maybe another 8 months or another year we can chat again. We'll see where I have gotten with my progress, with my goals. I think things will turn out for the best, and I'm sure you will continue with your mission of scaling the Web3 security talent in the space with the course. You'll probably grow it more, add more lectures to it, which is a great thing. Yeah, we will be meeting soon.
Definitely, either virtually or hopefully soon also in real life.
Certainly.
Thank you. Bye, man.
Bye bye.